A warm welcome to you as part of our CareLight family. I'm Karen Walters and the founder of CareLight. As a nurse, I hope to be able to give you some important tips and information to achieve the right product for the best result for the right customer. The following video will serve as a great reference guide to help get you started. Let's talk about the physical characteristics of a CareLight pad. After all, that's what we're selling. All CareLight pads have infrared LEDs, in addition to either red, blue, or at some point other colors or wavelengths, except the face mask, because we do not put infrared directly into the eyes. That is the reason the face mask has only red and blue light. Now let's talk about the pad flexibility and size of the pads, because that influences which pad you choose to go on which part of the body. Now, CareLight pads have some flexibility. It flexes more on the length, not the width. And the 180 pad is the most flexible. And in a few minutes, you'll learn why I call it the 180 pad. Sandwiched between the neoprene pads are small computer boards all daisy-chained together. And this prevents flexibility on the width. The 180 pad, as I said, is the most flexible. Okay, now, what about size? Numerous situations can influence size. If it's a 15-year-old with a soccer injury on his shin, the ideal pad might be the 90 or the 132. But if it's a 250-pound or 300-pound NFL linebacker with a thigh injury, you might need a 264 pad or a 180 pad. And sometimes, maybe using different pads for the same injury gives great coverage to the affected area. If someone has a back injury, they often can't pinpoint the exact spot where the back is hurting. They'll say, well, I think it hurts here. Maybe it's a little bit more up here. Well, we usually use a 264 pad for the back. You can see why. If in doubt, go up one size. What pad do you choose? We'll begin with products designed for specific body sites. Any CareLight pad can be applied anywhere on the body. Some are just sized or shaped better for a specific need. The optimum choice for a pad is that you have the most LEDs touching the skin. That's very important to remember. The idea is to get the most LEDs touching the skin. Some pads are designed for the best application to a specific part of the body to achieve the objective. The boot, obviously, has been designed for the feet. But even with the boot, you need to determine if you want to include the ankle with the foot or both the top and bottom of the foot. If the circulation of the lower leg as well as the feet is a specific target, you can get the foot and calf pad. If you want to treat the lower and upper foot, merely turn the pad 180 degrees and you can fold the foot pad in half to cover both the bottom of the foot and the top of the foot. Another specific pad is the face mask. Not only can it be used for the upper face, but you can invert the face mask to cover the lower part of the face and lower chin and even the neck. Now you can understand the application of specific pads for specific applications. In months to come, you will see more pads being added to this line of products, and we're very excited to bring those to you. We can now cover CareLight pads that have a number versus the CareLight pads that are for a specific body site. There is the 64 pad, the 90 pad, the 132 pad, the 180 pad, and the 264 pad. The numbers refer to the quantity of LEDs in each pad, and usually the more LEDs, the larger the pad. Starting with the 64 pad, however, it is the most unusual. Although this is the smallest pad, it has the most intensity. Why? The reason for this is that it has more LEDs per square inch than any other pad. Why would that be important? Because this allows you to apply it to smaller areas and maximize the number of LEDs touching the skin. So if you look at the 264 pad for the back, the LEDs are spread a little bit further apart. But if you want to maximize the number of LEDs that touch fingers, toes, bunions, elbows, heel, and jaw, you need them more compressed, more LEDs per square inch. And that is what the 64 pad does. The 90 and 132 pads are larger, with the normal distribution of LEDs per square inch, like the rest of the CareLight pads. Consider the size of the area and choose accordingly. The 132 pad allows you to treat 2 hands at once, and this is important to know because some people have pain in both hands. The 180 pad is extremely versatile and most flexible, as we've said before. It can wrap around the arms, the elbow, the thigh, the knee, and the calf. It can be left open and extend along the spinal column or along the outside of the upper thigh or hip. The 264 pad is the largest and can be used in almost all places. We like it for the back, around the thigh or around the calf, or even the chest and abdomen. For full details of each product, go to the product reference guide or website. I have some important tips that I think will help you get a better result for your customers that I would like to share with you, either from my nursing experience or from my exposure and time spent with CareLight pads. Now that you are familiar with the CareLight pads, here are some tips and information about getting those maximum benefits. We recommend using the CareLight pad twice a day for the first month, leaving a 2 to 4 hour interval between sessions. Remember, tell your customers it doesn't help them if they leave it sitting on the shelf. And you will need to remind them of this because this happens with some frequency. Research on this type of light therapy suggests that using the lights for 20 to 30 minutes each session with this much high quality light, that the body has released as much nitric oxide as it can in that specific location. But after an appropriate amount of time, the body is now able to release another significant amount of nitric oxide. First, have the pad next to your bare skin. No socks, sleeves, pant legs, or shirt. If you are using the neck and back pad, be sure your hair is away from the back of your neck and pulled up. We want those LEDs right next to the skin. It has to be easy and simple where you choose to receive your daily therapy and getting the pad in position. The experts at CareLight suggest finding the perfect place in your home that you can leave the pad plugged in. I personally like to do it in the morning and or evening with my PJs on. It is then easy to get my pant legs up, sleeves up, to expose my lower back without anything interfering with the pad touching the skin. With the CareLight foot and calf pads, once I have the foot pad fastened correctly around my foot, I don't unfasten it between sessions. I just slip my foot into the pad like I would a slipper. And this is something very important for older people, as it's difficult for many to bend down and at the same time fasten the strap around the foot. Leave your CareLight system plugged in. It won't be a problem. To get maximum penetration of the lights, I like to use a bed pillow to guide the pad to the contours of the body, no matter where it's at. That kind of snugs it in and gets all those LEDs close to the skin. And a good example of that is the 264 pad on the back. Will it get hot? You will feel a slight warmth from the LED bulbs, but it never gets hot. Remember, this has nothing to do with heat. Remind your customers it has nothing to do with heat. It is the lights that is working its magic. Our old thoughts of putting heat on pain or for circulation is old therapy. It is near-infrared lights that is the drug-free, non-invasive pain relief of today. I think it's an interesting fact that 60% of the heat generated comes from the metabolic process of the cells doing their job using oxygen to produce energy. When light is applied to a cell that is damaged or it's not functioning well, it starts to work again. That's what we want. The heat in the tissue is an indication of those cells starting to work. A client can touch the pad LEDs and see that their own sensation of heat in the diodes is less than the heat they feel in their tissue after using the lights. It is very common for people to think that not all the lights are working. The red LEDs shine a bright light, however, are not visible to the naked eye. If in doubt, using the camera lens of a recent smartphone, angle the camera at the bulbs, you have to move it around a little bit, and you will see a faint glow of purple. And those are the workhorses of your pad. We now have chosen a CareLight pad for therapy and know the tips of maximizing the benefits of near-infrared light therapy. A frequently asked question is, how tight should this be against my body? It shouldn't hurt or be uncomfortable. It should just be touching, firmly touching. And the LEDs are partially recessed in the pad to give you optimal comfort, yet all the advantages of the LED light. We now have chosen a CareLight pad for therapy and know the tips of maximizing the benefits of near-infrared light therapy. CareLight has two different types of controllers, a 2-port into which you can plug 2 pads, or a 6-port controller into which you can plug 6 pads. I'm going to talk first about the 2-port. Plug the 2-prong cable into a standard USA outlet. Note the black power box attached to the middle of the cord will softly beep twice, and the light next to the power button will then glow a steady red. This indicates you now have power. Put on your CareLight pads where you have pain or a need for increased circulation. Press the power button. It now turns a steady green. You are on your way to getting pain relief, finally. Sit back and relax. In 20 minutes, the power will turn off automatically. You will notice the green light is now off and a red light is back on. You can leave it with the red light on without danger. This avoids having to bend down and plug it back into the wall socket for your next therapy session. And for older people, this can be an important issue as it's difficult for them to do that. If you need to turn off the controller before 20 minutes have expired, simply press the power button again and the green light will go off and the red light will glow again. Now the 6-port controller. The 6-port controller allows you to have 6 different pads turned on at the same time. As we plug it into the outlet, the red light on the controller will turn red. This tells us we have power, and when we turn it on, the red light now turns green. I have chosen the foot and calf pad and the back pad. Once again, as you see, it looks like not all the LEDs are working as they don't appear to be lit. Those are the real workhorse of your CareLight pads. They are emitting a near-infrared light that is not visible to the naked eye. This is the science behind CareLight and why 3 Americans won a Nobel Prize for the cascade of effects that occur at a cellular level when near-infrared light is applied. It's truly amazing. On the 6-port controller, there are 7 different frequencies, and A, B, and C. We will explain in another video how to select the appropriate frequency. By default, the controller will automatically go to A. This is a general sequence of frequency and is applicable to all needs. If you need to interrupt your therapy, simply push the off button. You can leave the controller plugged in. If the red light is distracting, and sometimes it is for me if I have it plugged in my bedroom, it glows a pretty bright red. If you find the red light distracting, simply unplug it. Otherwise, leave it plugged into the outlet for the next therapy. Congratulations to you for being a caring health advocate for people you know or love. You have sought and found new technology to bring relief, drug-free, for those who are suffering. I will be anxious to hear from you as you discover the reward in hearing, "You changed my life." It was such a reward for me.